Hey everybody, it's Illy Trading. I'm here. It's Sunday. Your girl is happy because I hate the weekends. And yeah. I'm so glad it's Sunday, y'all. Oh my gosh. Because your girl is just like crazy when it's not happening. You might say I'm obsessed, and that's okay. I understand. It is what it is. So anyway, let's get into it. So now we're going to be talking about Forex. I have decided to add in the actual currencies, even though I hate trading the currencies. I always try to challenge myself and to learn and understand and respect the currencies. So I have decided to add them onto my repertoire as well as add it onto this outlook for the week. Okay, so as you already know, we're going to start off with Japan 225. I know I'm crazy. It is what it is. We already established that. Okay, so we're going to be moving right along and we're going to start off with Japan. So Japan to me is in an interesting spot. I feel like we're at a point where we are currently at a pullback area. I could definitely see us like kind of consolidating at this area and then going back out to go right to this order block and then see what happens in this order block. Or we could just be consolidating for further continuation down to this nice support area of 63,820. Now, as you already know, I'm a bear. Of course, I'm going to want to see this sell. But I also know that if I'm looking at the NASDAQ, it also looks kind of bullish as well. So for me, this is still kind of a bullish kind of setup. We are taking out some lows, but I don't know. I really need to see what we're doing, right? So if we really do break this support of 65,380 and continuation down for here to 850, we still could be in a very bullish area, right? Because it's not taking out this big swing low of the 60,440. So if we are bearish, I will be looking for the targets of 64,680. I'll mark this down and I'll mark this red. And then I am also looking for 64,250, right? And then the other support line that we've already discussed about is 63,820. Let's change that to red. All right, so that would be the areas that I'll be looking for our downward move for a bounce to go back up. If we are still on a bullish run, we're going to be looking for the TPs of 66,850. We'll make this red. I'm sorry, green. And then also 67,580. We'll make this green as well. And then we could be looking right back at this area of we would be retesting the area of 68,800 or even the area of 69,5, well, let's just say 69,600, right? So these would be the areas that we're looking at for testing and where we could possibly be going. If we are bullish, obviously we're going to go break above this 66,480 area, tap this TP of 830, then 67,600, and then 68,780. We would be testing the zone of 69,620 and then testing this order block here at 70,000 plus, right? So this would be if we're going to blow right past this or if we're going to have a little bit of resistance in this area, right? So that would be if we're on a bullish move. If we're on a bearish move going downward, we're looking at 64,850, 64,820, and 68,800. All right. That's what we're looking for the outlook for today, for this week of Japan 225. The next one we're going to be looking at is NASDAQ 100 on the Forex. As you can see, like I said, we're in like these interesting areas. This here, as you can see, I'm going to zoom in for you guys. We are really bouncing off of this 200, right? This is the 400. We bounced here around this area of 200. Then we bounced here, came up, came through, but came but we're above it, and it came right back to it to bounce off of it. So it is very interesting to see what we're going to be doing, right? We still technically have our golden, we don't have the death cross yet. EMAs are pointing down for a downward movement. So what are we going to do, right? What are we doing this week? If we are still on the bearish momentum, we're going to come back to the support area 29,150. We're going to come back to the area of 28,960. This is a thick line, so I'm assuming that I have this being a major support area. One moment. Oh, sorry. So we have here at 28,960 as well as 28,712.10 in that area. So those would be my support for us to sell down to, right? And that would put us at a good range. I'll put us in the point fib range, right? Yep. So we're right above the point 0.5 and we're right below the point 0.6. So those are some target areas. Those are major areas to watch. All right. If we are going to still be on the bullish side, I do still feel like we need to come down here to come back up. So either way, we will be looking at, I feel like these are a little too close, but 2966 as well as this major support right here at 29,880. And I would be interested in this area here, 30,160. And this will be right before we have another support here that would take out this high, which if we take up that high, we will be looking at this area of 30,340, which I will round up to about 50. All right, so that's what I'm looking for this week for NASDAQ 100. Let's take a look at SPY. SPY, we're looking at the same thing. I'm looking for a nice little pullback to this area here, this nice thick area here. Looks like we have an order block as well in this area on the 4-hour right here. All right, so I would like to see it come down in here and bounce off a little bit and do what it needs to do. If not, I do see another interest area down here for another consolidation zone of order blocks here. Mm, that's all I see on the 4-hour. So it would be nice to see here, come here, bounce up, and probably come down here. If we draw in our fib, we can be looking at, cool, point 0.5 area is like right here of where the gold line is, right above this order block here. And point 0.6 is right here where I have that nice thick line at. It's right in that area zone, right? And it's also inside the order block. So we have that. So we know we're in the right area for pullbacks. So even if, when you think about it, technically, if we hit this trend line to come back up, that would be great too. That would give us another tap. All right. So if we are bullish at this point, we're looking at TP of being, let's see, 7,600. Let's do 7,700. And then I will leave this here at 7,708.38. And I will leave this here at 7,800. Those are the upside ones. For my downside support areas that we are looking for, it is 7,650 as well as obviously we have this support here. I'm gonna leave that there at 7,620. I'm not changing that because that lets me know that that's a major area. Um, and we have 7,600 and This is kind of low for me, but 7,005, 515, 520. It's a little low, but I still will put it in. All right, so those are my areas of interest for coming down to the area. All right, next one is going to be gold. Gold is still bullish. As you can see, we have taken from the last week's review, we took out all these TPs that I had here. So we took out the 7,520, I'm sorry, 4,520, 4,544, and 4,580. We're now, the most recent TP was 4,630. That was where we ended at. So now that those all came true, we can take those out, right? And we can start back here. So if we have it being the top part here, we will be looking for a pullback, and I'm looking for a pullback here at 4,560 as well as 4,520. Um, I would even be interested in the pullback in this area here where we can do another bounce off of 4,450. For our next TPs, if we're still in the bullish area, we are still going to be looking at the area. So we took this out. We're going to be looking at this area of 4,720, 4,780, and we are going to be looking at 4,830. Those would be the next TP for the bullish, and then obviously we did the earlier ones for the pullback TPs for the bearish run down. Sorry. All right, so let's see how that goes. Here we are. That's a nice little for the to figure out what we do, even if we consolidate in this area here. Um, I would not be surprised if we pull back and then come back up, or if we come back down and touch this area and then come back up. Um, I mean, these EMAs are telling me we're about to open up more, so I would be still looking at a bullish run right here. Next one is going to be silver. Silver, silver is funny. My girl just likes to play with me, but either way, we did take out this TP here of 67.67 as well as 69.58. We did not take out the 71.01, so we do still have some room to come back up. We also can add this TP in at 71.6 for right now. Anything else, we would have to do a little bit more research. I wouldn't even be surprised if we look at 73.50. So we'll change those to see how that turns out. And we're already in this area of the 69.61. For the bear move down or a pullback, still leaving it at 67.73, 66.85, and I will add in 65.66. There we go. So that's what we're looking at for this week. So we'll look at that, see how that goes. Next one is going to be platinum. Platinum is booming. It took out all my TPs that I actually said. So we have the TP that was taken out is 1,798, 1,815, and it reached 1,892. So yay for me seeing it, but I did not play it. Of course not. Why would I play it, right? All right, anyway, so if we are still continuing on the bullish run, we are looking at TP of 1960. We are looking at 1980. And we would be looking at, I always play it safe at 2012. So those were what I would be looking for those further up. If we do a pull back, hold on, let me fix my lines. All right, so we're already in this area, so I will change that back to gold. And if we come back down, obviously we can come back to the TP areas that we just hit. Obviously for support, right? Uh, I think we would have to drop down to the 1 hour. We can move this up to here for 1,820. And then we can do this here at 1,800. And this area of 100 and 780. Right back where we got those TPs from, right? So we already know that market is like kind of ranges sometimes and likes to rinse and repeat. So those are the areas that I am going to be looking at for the pullback area for support. So I hope that makes sense. If we're still bullish, we're going to be hitting these TPs, but if we do a pullback, we're looking at these areas for actual pullback. All right, I don't expect it to come down here and bounce off this line anytime soon. So we'll see how this rejection goes. It did already look like it rejected in this area. So I'd be interested in that pullback here at 1826 and then to hit these TPs up here. Next one up is UK oil. As expected, we are closing the gap. And we have resistance here at that area. We still do have a nice little gap availability here. So I would not be surprised if we continue to close this. I don't expect it to take out this high of 98.95. But if it does, we do have another gap that is up here at 102.20. Yes, so with oil, we still have a nice little gap here. The gap is from 94.8 to 97.37. So if for UK, we are still on a bullish trend, I do hope that they close this gap here at 102 to 104. That would be great, right? But that also changes the character. Um, so I would, this is interesting. So it might even be that we wick up here to take it and then come back down. But technically for the setup, we're still bullish, right? We're still bullish. We're still above all our EMAs here on the 4 hour. And we're grabbing all this money that's left behind. All right. So now that we're looking at that, if we're looking for the pullbacks, we're going to be looking for the resistant area of 92.57, as well as this area of 91.5. And then we'll also look at the area of 90.08. If we are still, well, bullish ones for TPs, obviously we're going to go back to 94.80. We're going to go to this area of 95.53. Looking at also this TP here, right, of 98.80, which is risky because I don't really know what we're doing. I haven't been following the news overseas to really know what's going on. So we all know that this is movement in oil has been geared towards this. And then the next TP actually would be 101.13, and then you have to fill in that gap that's right above it. So we'll see. I don't really know. I'm not following it too closely. I kind of just like to look at the charts. I try not to get in the news because everything is propaganda these days. So anyway, I would like to have this gap close, pull back, and then close this gap, and then come back down and sell off. That's for UK. Um, U.S. oil doesn't really have a gap up here, so that's why I always find it very interesting when I compare the two. They run very similar, but they also do gap differently, right? So this gap is pretty much almost closed on US oil. Still same setup. It's just not as um what's the word I'm looking for? Not the spread, but like the difference. It's very similar in the structure, but it is slightly different. So for the bullish ones, for the bullish TPs that we're looking for is 88.60. Closing this gap at 89.76. Next TP would be 90.88, and you can even go up to these areas of 92.80. If even if we reject at this level, they could be trying to come this area if it's going to try to match the UK oil structure. which it doesn't really match sometimes. I just feel like UK just moves a lot more than it does for US. So let me change my TPs to see for next week when we hit those. Uh, let me add a line right here. And this one 90.88. We'll add this one just in case. 92.74. For pullbacks of support, looking at 85.83. This area already lined out 84.650 and 83.39. Those would be my areas for the pullback. Excuse me. All right, so that is what we are looking at. We are currently here. Well, we were here. And then these are the TPs coming down this way. And these are the TPs up. All right, next one is Euro. So as I said before, I decided to add in these just to practice these. I probably will be doing these on the demo account. I'll definitely try to swing these. I just feel like sometimes currency just moves so slow and it just is so irritating to me. I already mapped this out already. So for my pullback areas that I'm looking for this, for Euro USD, if we're following our normal structure plan of how we do, pullback will be to 1.16, 1.15, and 1.151, right? They seem like they went nowhere. If we're doing for TPs, we're doing 1.171, 1.175, and 1.79, right? I feel like with currencies, you have to do such a big lot to actually get somewhere in money flow. But hey, when you add things on, it just makes you a better trader. That's all we're working on. The next one is the British pound. I did not do this already, so we can do it right now. Yeah, still looking kind of bullish here. Um, I'll just put my lines in now and we'll fix them out. So for the pullback, I'm looking for these are right here. These are my pullback areas. And then I will have to go to the left to see what my TPs are. I would do it right here. And then to the left, everything in the box to the left. All right. Oh, all right, here we go. So we can bring this down here. I'll make this green, which we probably already did it already. This is the area interest here, as well as here, 1.37. All right, so let's go back. So y'all can see how I did that. That's literally what I do. All right, so for TPs, if we're still bullish, we're looking at to come back to the area of 1.366, 1.366, I'm sorry, 1.369, and then 1.37 is for the TP's continuation up. If we do a pullback, we're looking at 1.3618, 1.358, and then 1.356. All right, so that's for British pound and US. Next one is going to be the US and Japan yen. Y'all know I love my Japan. Let's take a look at this. Look at that chart. Oh, I haven't been on here for a while. This right here, this blue line is called a VWAP. Um, so we're under it, so that would make me be more on the bearish side of it. Um, But as you can see, I played around with this before because I do have some lines. And I can't remember the last time I've been on USD Japan, but look at this. not me being on point in this area and just bouncing off it like it's a playground. All right, so I'm gonna get rid of this VWAP because I'm not doing that right here, which is this one. That's not it. That's not it. I gotta get rid of this because I don't even use this. Uh, indicators. Why won't you go away? Interesting. I can't get rid of that. All right, I'll put my VWAPs back. I'll put my EMAs back on. All right. If we are bullish on US Japan, I'm sorry, USD Japan yen, TP obviously is going to be coming right back to this area of 159.16. I'll say 159.75. And the next one would be 160.46. If we're going to start selling back off or pull back, I'm looking at 158.01. Ooh, this looks good right here. Excellent support here. 157.28, as well as I'll even do 156.67 right here. All right, so that's what, quickly just looking at it, just from a charting view. I know that if you follow the doxy, this will tell you this or the yen will tell you that. I don't know. I don't really have the time or effort, but I'm just going off of what I've been doing and that what has been working for me. So honestly, I would be looking for another rejection here for it to come down here, here, and here. And then this is a nice little bounce area. If we bounce off of here, I don't know, we could come down further. Um, we could come down further. But if not, we have our TPs for later. I don't know why I can't get rid of that. I'm so sorry, you guys, that I'm yawning, but your girl is like, I feel fine, but my sinuses are kicking my behind. All right, last one, but least is Australian dollar, the Aussie, and the dollar. All right, this right here is an excellent support, so we're gonna put that there, right off the bat. Um, let's do our resistance because I can see, I mean, our support because I can see that right now without going to the left. I'll do right here. All right, so my resistance levels back, right, if we're shorting, is 0.71, 0. Oh my gosh. 0.7133, 0.7103, and the 0.7066, right? Those would be it. Those would be my comeback areas. If it goes further than that, perfect. All right, so if we're looking for TP for a bullish run up, we are looking at here at 0.7185, 0.720, and I don't like this one, but I will put it in 0.7222, but I really would want this one at 0.72644. That's what I would like. Just being honest. Now, how long it takes to get there, I have no idea. This is probably why I don't trade currency. But if the news happens, it gets there faster. All right. So there you go. All right, so you guys literally see how I make my lines. You literally see how I do it. For the play, I would really like for this to be an entry for this to come back in this area, bounce off of here, and then take these TPs out. Right? That's what I would be looking at. All my EMAs, we're above all EMAs on the 4 hour. So that would be a strong inkling for me that this is still bullish. My final TP would be 0.72. If I decide to do these, I will kind of come back here and tell you the lots that I have. Um, for them, the thing with currency is that I know you have to have a large lot to make anything. Even if I'm looking for $100, I feel like you need like a point. 0.10 lot instead of a 0.01. So like when I do my NASDAQ, my NAS 100 trade, I do like a, you don't need a lot, right? You just need a point zero one lot to make, a decent amount. Even with Japan, you don't need to do anything more than a point zero 0.01. That bad boy be moving because if you do anything higher than that, it will take you out. Even so with SPY, I find that if you need to make some moves on it, you need to do like a point zero 0.03 or point zero 0.05. Gold, even with gold, you can still move with like a point 0.1. You can still make some dollars. Even silver will give you money off of a point zero 0.01. But in this, like the currencies, you just need so much of a lot to actually make it worth your time. So that is my forex right now, and I added the four popular ones. I did not add all the exotic ones. I just did the major ones that most people trade, and we'll see how that goes. So we'll add that to the repertoire. All right, thank you. I know this was a long one, but we added more and we did more. All right, thank you. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.